said, well, this is the topic area, this is the here and now, and we need to go off and get some information. And it's a sort of a search and find exercise. So we need to get a grasp of the youth offending agenda, the policy, the legislation, the backdrop to it, because we're new in post. We needed some crunchy data, that would allow us to sort of have a look at what else is going on in the field, what our colleagues are doing, what's happening at a national level or within our region. We also needed to source, internally what's happening, get a picture of inside the authority with colleagues, and talk about that. And we also then we were looking to, well, what are some good practice examples, and how does our service stack up against that, and how should we be aspiring to either better things. So the current way of doing things takes us to a number of things, related good practice websites, government departments, third-party organisations. Data takes us to the Audit Commission or the Probation Service or related agencies. Our current performance internally would be some face-to-face scenario with colleagues, with other service users inside the council. And good practice, affiliated to peer networks or policy networks that our council may already belong to. So they were the sort of the current streams of information flow, and we thought, well, okay, the Knowledge Hub can then take us into getting all of that, and we expend quite a bit of of energy in doing that. So I suppose the challenge around hooking it into the vision, and I'm making a bit of a deal on the vision for and the investment being made in this. Our vision is to create an environment, a technology enabler, and a collaborative space, if you like, that will give us all of that in one place, the Knowledge Hub. And we spend quite a lot of time, a few hours, a lot of our percentage time in getting to that place. So we can come straight into the Knowledge Hub, and we can go to where things can be shared, things can be discussed. So this whole collaborative environment, we can tell our story, we can speak with others, we can put our content up there, and we can use a variety of tools and techniques. We also then need the local and the national data, so we need to be able to go in there and crunch out and determine where we stack up in terms of other data and figures and costs and etc., etc. And within that context, it allows us to challenge and benchmark against National Indicator 111. And we might also then want some tools and techniques to help us do that. So we're hoping that the Hub will provide us with all of that. And again, taking it back to what this really means for me as an individual on the ground, this is about a personalisation. This is for me being able to sort of the push of a few buttons, the filtering of a few words, the search of a bit of information, gives me a personalised search of data and ease of use, reference youth offending. And that's the added value. And then what we try to then do is, lots of arrows mapping everywhere, but what actually will that bring to me? How will that make my life easier? Will that give the councillors what they want? Yes, we think it will. Will it appease and will it join up the two service areas to be able to tell a story in the council? Yes, it will. But more importantly, we've got easier access to relevant information, we've got tools and techniques, we can talk about it, we can put our practice in there. I mean, it's this whole ratio of 80% effort there, and shifting that whole balance over here. And I suppose, part of the exercise, but for later today, this is what will differentiate the Hub from not just any other website. This is what will give us the added value. And I think if we were trying to describe or paint a picture, I'm just seeing it as a dashboard on a computer screen, around the theme of youth offending. And that's quite an easy tale to tell, but to tell the story, and if you then say, well, £2-3 million worth of investment going into this over the next couple of years, we've got to be able to tell that story. But anyway, that was our, if anybody else wants to come in. And
so the gist of that is that you are not worrying where all this information is coming from, but it's all, you're able to get it all in one place and see it through your dashboard, and it's actually associated with your personal profile as well.
Part of what we were aiming for was for the level of interaction between different users. So there are different ways of finding that information. So information can be highlighted or rated as useful by other people. So if you don't know anybody within your particular environment, you can still go in and see what the most viewed document or the perceived most useful document is. But also if you've got a colleague or an ally or someone that you know that you've met from an event or something that has a similar view to you or is in a similar working experience in a similar environment, then perhaps you could track that person through if they've already been engaged with this system as a shortcut. The key thing was to create as many short routes to relevant information as possible, but also that then improves the sort of collaborative element of it, so working together, working with other people, so there's a human element to this. It's not just a data resource, it's a live entity that's created and produced by the people that are involved in it and
Right.
using it.